Hey, recovering emo kids, Amanda and Rob here on the Emo Kids Anonymous podcast, and we are joined by Evan from Intuit Over It today on the pod, a legendary band from the Emo Revival Scene of the 2010s. We talked about Andrew Sacher, which we just had on the pod not too long ago, because Evan's all over that book. I mean, he has quoted so many times. His band is in it. Different bands he's been in has been in it. We talked about the scene. We talked about what it was like to be a part of it during that time. We talked about what Intuit Over is doing now, what they have planned, and Pet Symmetry. We did a lot of fun, nostalgic looks backs and also a look ahead too.
No, we talked about Pretty Bitter.
We did.
Pretty Bitter,
and
Pretty
Sweet
Bitter,
Hill and
Kerosene Heights and
sports.
And sports. What a wild coincidence. The first time I ever wear this blouse. I didn't realize as I'm telling him this about a band he produced. I'm like, oh, this shirt's kind of oversized.
You even mentioned
yeah. And he just kind of doesn't even think to say, hey,
He didn't mention it at all, no.
No, but we talk about a lot of cool bands that we mutually like. Evan is obviously a legend in our scene. And it was cool getting to have him here and getting to fucking meet the guy. And we hope you like our interview with him. But before we get to that, do us a favor, subscribe, follow us on the internet. There's a button down there. We need you to press it, please. If you don't press it, the police are going to come to my house and they're going to beat me up with a belt when I'm naked. They told me that in an email, Amanda. I got an email from the police. They said, if people watching this don't subscribe or follow or leave a comment or share the episode, then we're going to come beat your bare butt with a belt.
Threatened via email now? Jeez.
Yeah, paper trail, fucking wild choice, right? And they also said a lot of like weird type of like European racial slurs I'd never heard before.
Are you sure it was the police that said this?
Not Stuart Copeland.
Oh, okay.
No, it was the local police, I think. Yeah. Don't quote me on that. If this falls under a defamation thing, then this is anyways, this episode is brought to you by Protégé. Protégé is the all-in-one face serum. It'll take your face from fucky to fresh. It's summertime. Your skin is about to start getting beat up by the sun. Protect it, okay? Go protect it. You go over to Protégé.com. You enter Emo Kids at checkout. You get your first tube of Protégé for only $10. After that, you enter Rob40. You get 40% off everything. And we don't just have face stuff over there. We also got lip stuff. They got lip balms now, too. You can go get go balm your lips, okay? Now, with all that being said, here's our interview with Evan Weiss from Intuit Over It and Pet Symmetry and The Progress. And a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I got hit for the first time in what felt like years. It struck me down.
Rob and Amanda, right?
That's right. Yes.
Nice
I was
one.
saying I'm wearing this large size blouse I got. It's a sports blouse, but large was all they had. And I wanted to grab one. And I meant to like cut the sleeves off. It feels too big. Like I feel like a kid or like a girlfriend or something.
Rob, how old are you, bud?
36.
Okay, yeah. So I'm 41, and I specifically remember the era of my life in which I could no longer fit in a medium t-shirt.
I had a moment. No, I had a good while. I had like a good 5 years where I couldn't fit in a medium anymore, and I was kind of like struggling with it. Yeah, and then I lost that realization. I shrunk back down, and like I'm never going back now.
Dude, so I started walking a 5K every day at the top of this year. I quit drinking for a while, started walking a lot, and because I was like, man, pandemic, I sort of got out of hand. Like I started like everybody, we just drank every day for like 5 years. I don't know, maybe that was what you guys did.
No,
that's what I did.
I did discover a new beer during that time. This is correct.
Yeah. It was just like, especially those first couple of years, you're like, me and my wife would drink a bottle of wine like every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was getting hammered.
And so suddenly I was 215, which was like the most I'd ever weighed in my whole life. And I was coming into this year being like, I'm getting back to my goal weight, and I'm proud to announce that I can wear medium t-shirts again for the first time.
Yay, Evan.
A while.
This is how I feel when I lost all my baby weight after my two kids. Finally, at the age of 40, I'm finally able to do it all.
You do a 5K every single day?
Try to. My wife and I love to walk, and we live near a series of forest preserves over here in Chicago.
Oh, that's really nice.
And there's a bunch of great parks here also. So now that the weather's nice, it's trying to go outside and just be outside.
Yeah.
But during the wintertime, I got the the treadmill set up in the basement. I toss on a movie, or like right now the World Cup is on, which is awesome to be
Yeah, it's
walking
Yeah.
the treadmill during. So you can just kind of smoke a joint and zone out and just walk for a while.
Yeah, you have like a perfect, like a 90-minute timer there too. Basically, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm able to do 5K in about, if I'm fast walking like 4 miles an hour, I'm able to do it in about 40 minutes, which is
That's pretty good. Yeah.
there we go.
That's really good.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So well done. Yeah.
Whatever works.
4 miles an hour is a pretty quick pace. Like
It's
for
just
me,
with-
my little legs, I'm almost about to like start jogging at that point, you know.
Sure,
So.
sure. Guys, real quick, was this better for you if I have headphones on? Is it fine right now without them? What's
We
better
can
for
hear
you?
you fine.
I think you're fine. Yeah.
Well, we hear you fine. It works for us. Whatever works for you.
Whatever is more comfortable, or rather, whatever sounds better for you guys, I'm happy to do.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
No, thanks for being here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate
We're really
it.
happy to have you.
Yeah,
Yeah. A legend of the emo revival scene. I mean,
I was
it's
gonna
really
say,
nice to
yeah.
have you.
We had a guest about a week ago, and Andrew Sacher, and he wrote a book.
Yes.
And I swear to God, the first like 2 chapters are kind of
It's
just
all
about
about-
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Dude, no one was more blown away than I was reading that when
You're
you
like,
said
that was pretty sick.
and
You're
it's
like, oh.
finally, I'm getting the recognition of his work. You know, like it's
About
and I
time.
immediately refreshed that progress record, and
Yeah, it's beautiful.
They opened the book with that, which was really cool. And what was even cooler was that they, the first chapter they talk about, the scene that I came up in, and I really loved that everyone he interviewed was aligned on the story. Like it really did feel like everyone had the same experience, and like, dude, that for me, guys, that's like, that's like 20, it's 21 years ago, or more actually.
Yeah.
20 years ago. So even I'm not sure if the memory is right. It's kind of like how it's been distorted or changed in that time. And to see, Joe Reinhardt and Dane Campbell and my buddy Rob and Loudon from Jenna Berlin, and all these people kind of back up the history of that moment. Was really special to read. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it wouldn't have read great as like an oral history because there was no like back and forth disagreement on anything. I think one of the effects too is at that era, it's right as streaming's kicking in, so bands were making as much money before. So there's not the same opportunity to abuse the same level of drugs to where your memory's going to be as hazy.
Yeah,
like,
like I
things
think
are
of
still
where
kind of mellow.
Yeah, Where Are Your Boys Tonight, which isn't oral history, is very much
like
hear
a meet me in the bathroom,
the bicker
like
stuff. Yeah,
shit's fucked. Yeah, those guys, nobody remembers anything. Like
I mean, even recalling that time, there wasn't much in the way, there were at least the revival era of bands. There wasn't much in the way of like drug abuse. Really.
Yeah, no.
Like
no,
everyone.
I think you all learned your lesson. Yeah,
smoked pot, drank beers a little bit.
I was just saying that's like a PBR Miller Lite and bag of weed era. Yeah, that's
exactly.
really what that was.
Don't get me wrong, it did exist, but it wasn't. There were certain scenes that I've been in before and after that have felt a little more intense in whatever ways they may be. But yeah, it was super cool to read that book. I really appreciated Andrew's writing on it. I also appreciated that he chose to take all the pull quotes of mine. I'm just like swearing left and right. I'm like talking like a sailor in this book. And he's like, will you write it forward? Like, will you write like a little thing at the beginning of the book? And I was like, yeah, I have to address the fact that like, I don't swear like this all the time. It's like, it made me sound like the most New Jersey guy possible, which don't get me wrong, I can be, but like, and when I'm talking about something I'm excited about, it's easy to get worked up. But yeah, he chose the perfect pull quotes where I'm just like, fuck this, fuck that shit, fuck what the fuck.
Your pull quotes.
It went great. So I guess then let's start around that era then. At some point you go from the progress. I guess we start the progress there.
Yeah, the progress.
Yeah. Where does sweet young Evan start here in the world of emo revival?
Well, I mean, there wasn't one then. That was
that was towards the end of it, right?
I know. The band was breaking up when Emo Revival started coming together. So we started that band. The Progress was a band that began with my best friends from elementary school. So we started playing music together when we were in the 5th grade. This would have been like 1997. And we were just super into grunge at that time. This is like you know, we're children of the, I mean, we're all born in the 80s, but like we're growing up into our years with like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and all this stuff. We were writing music with that in mind. And then it wasn't until I got to middle school that my friend's older brother turned me on to Sunny Day Real Estate.
Beautiful.
And I brought that back to my band, being like, look at this, like, check this out. Like, this is all the stuff that we've been interested in, but we didn't know what it was, you know? And, you know, and they were on Sub Pop, so it felt like this really natural.
Yeah, you're like, oh, there's Sub Pop band.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, so I got really into that record. And then I just started, we had a record store in the town that I grew up in, or the next town over. It was called Tunes. And Tunes was like where I would take my allowance money every weekend and I just started buying CDs that looked like Sunny Day, like this, like similar art or like vibe, or just like it kind of, the band name might have seemed a little similar. And that's a snowball effect, because you start buying those other records and reading the liner notes, and they thank like 10 other bands. And you're like, okay, well then I have to find those bands. And then they're all on the same record labels. So you start buying CDs that are all on J-Tree, or that are all on Polyvinyl, or that are all on, you know, all these different labels that I got really into. And just started finding one band after another. And then like a year later, Napster started, and then it was game over. It's like you could find anything you wanted to at that point. But yeah, so we started that band in middle school. We recorded and released our first EP when we were freshmen in high school. And so, and then started touring like kind of shortly after that. And it wasn't anything crazy. It was just DIY the same way it is now. If you're a DIY band, you just didn't have
booking
MapQuest.
methods changed. That's different.
You just had hope MapQuest was right. That's what
you got an almanac, and you got to use payphones, and like it was totally, I mean, exactly what everybody else went through at that time. So so the Progress ran as a band until about 2007, 2008. And really right up until the moment and when I started Intuit Over It, which was in September 2007. So that was originally just meant to be a songwriting project. The Progress wasn't really doing much. I had all these song ideas. The band wasn't interested in working on them. And so I was like, I'm just going to start my own thing.
Yeah.
And that's part of that is 52 weeks.
Yeah,
and,
52 songs, apparently. That's a lot of ideas.
wrote, recording, and released one song every week for an entire year.
Yeah, you can commit to a bit. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
12 towns, all the goddamn big songs. Like you can commit to a bit, bro.
Yeah, I mean, so 52 weeks finishes, and I had joined this band called Demira. And because I was just looking for something where I could tour. I thought Intuit Over It was done. It was just supposed to be that songwriting project, and it was just going to be free on the internet. Started touring in Demira, and around that same time met Chris from No Sleep, and Chris was really interested in putting it out on CD. And so we took it offline, we remixed and mastered it, we released it on CD, and then by the time it was done, my time in Demira was kind of winding down. And I felt like, well, you know, maybe I should just start playing some shows and see, you know, if this has any legs. And it did. And like at that point, in the midst of all that, I'd moved to Chicago. I just shortly after that met this dude, Nick, who would be the drummer in Intuit Over It for a few years. We wrote like Intersections and Proper together. And yeah, it just kind of snowballed from there. Like I got fired from my job because I was touring so much, and just was like, well, if I don't do this now, I'm not going to get a chance. And it seemed crazy that all of a sudden this like groundswell of other bands all came at the same time. And, you know, I've been talking about this a lot recently, because I feel like emo having a moment is a really good recession indicator.
Yes, it really is.
And I say this as a quote from my friend Koji, who he said this years ago, and it always stuck with me, and I completely agree with him, that there's no economy for bullshit. And that was true in 1999 through 2001. That was true in 2008, and true again in like 2016. And then it's about to be true again, I think. And it's where people don't want to see they don't need to see the big production. They don't need to spend $100 on a concert ticket. They want to see a band fucking bash it out. They just want to see a band kick ass. That's, you know, so that back to the basement thing, I think, is about to happen again. in the way they did.
I
I
think
can
we're
feel it
getting there.
happening because even like labels like Hopeless and stuff like that have leaned heavy on like such that like I call it like it's like warped core to me. It's just like this is fucking
It's
it's
like
fucking
some mix of
bubblegum with
metalcore and
red
stuff,
hair or like water part. You know, it's not alternative music. But
Yeah,
like I mean those labels are grabbing like Harrison Gordon's and stuff. Like they're realizing like this is what like this is what's cool right now because you have enough of that for a while, you get fucking sick of it.
And you're seeing labels too, like a Numero, for example, championing a lot of this lost stuff from the '90s that we, you know, some of us knew as it was like a secret handshake to know some of those bands, or to like have someone make a cassette for you, or find that 7-inch somewhere, or like whatever. And they're doing a great job at championing these bands that I think maybe the world wasn't ready for then, but I think they are ready for now. And I get psyched when I see younger kids in their teens and early 20s talking about those bands, and like they're really digging back to like the origin of a lot of this stuff and getting influenced by that. And it's so cool. Like it's the I'm all for the nostalgia, the nostalgia revival of what the '90s was, you know, like, and so I think it's really cool. I think music's in a really interesting and exciting spot right now. And I commend Andrew's book. I think it's coming right at the right time. And I think, you know, I'm psyched that young kids are finding the stuff that we were still finding when we were kids.
Yeah. And I know it's a lot easier to find it now with the internet and with just social media being in abundance. I mean, we didn't have that growing up ourselves. I mean, we had a little bit of it, but they just can find everything these days.
No.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it breeds this different style of songwriting. You know, like telling our story before finding the CDs. It's like, if you don't find the CD you're looking for, you just don't hear
doesn't
the record.
exist.
That
music, like
is it a Mandela effect? Maybe
these are the 300. These are the 300 songs I own. It's in a booklet here. This is what I can hear.
Listen to the same albums of hundreds of times, you know, and you become obsessed with it, absorb it. And that's why I feel like there was so much maybe more focus of scenes back then, because you couldn't find just literally everything under the sun.
You're right. Yeah.
Which has, you know, depending on who you ask, I think it's positives and negatives, but I look at it as a positive because it's like younger musicians now, and even myself as a musician now, I'm able to pull influence from thousands of different things and bring it in to the music that I write, or that like a young band could bring into the music that they write, and create something that's never existed before. And that doesn't mean that thing's always going to work, but it is cool that it can happen. And that, you know, and that people could take shape from anything. It doesn't have to just be whatever they were lucky enough to find at the record store that week.
Exactly. I agree.
Fuck, that's a nice feeling though. And nothing's going to compare to that though. That's too bad.
When you get the score, you're like,
you find something cool. Like I remember the first time, like I walked into a record store in San Diego, and they were playing I Know by Tegan and Sarah, and I never heard that before. And it was like, what's this?
Yeah.
I'm going to buy this. And it's like, oh, like, okay, like you can just find things like that. Like I could find something like I like more on streaming now, but just like you don't like, I'm not gonna have a memory of like, oh fuck man, I was on the bus and this song popped up on my phone. I looked at it and I screenshotted it with the other 23,000 screenshots of my phone. Sick. I'm gonna go back and look at it eventually with all the videos I've taken at shows. Like,
yeah.
I do get that feeling still time to time with like college radio. I don't know what your local college radio station is. Like, where are you guys actually?
I'm in LA. Yeah, I don't think
I'm in Kentucky. No, I'm in Kentucky. I'm closer to you than I go to Chicago all the time. It's a quick 5-hour drive for me. So.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, you know, growing up, our local radio station, college radio station, was WPRV Princeton. It was the Princeton College radio station, and they had a bunch of great programming on that station, and it could be anything at any time. Like, depending what you turned on, it could be, you know, like the Power Violence Hour, or it could be free jazz, or it could be, you know, and so constantly having that on, I found so much great music then. And every once in a while, like, you know, WXRT is a great station here, but there's a bunch of great stations in the Chicago area too. And that's like now these days, the time where I most mistakenly find new things that I would be really excited about.
I love that you're still listening to actual radio stations too. Because, you know, exactly. Yeah, because a lot of people are doing that.
Right. You said, what's your local college radio station? I was like, fuck, I have no idea.
That's exactly. I was like, I see the local radio stations when I go to downtown Frankfurt, but I see them like they're on the building, and that's just don't happen
Yeah, I
anymore.
mean,
Yeah.
every once in a while the drive gets just dull enough when you don't know what to listen to, and like Intuit Over, for example, will play a game called Scan for the Hits, and you just scan, you just start
Yeah.
doing radio scan, and that just actually is a really good way to help the time pass on a long drive.
Yeah,
Not to mention
I've seen that.
getting lucky.
Um,
Wow.
I know. So, talking about Andrew's book, you had said in the book that whenever Pitchfork had reviewed Touche Amore, like back in like 2014, you said that was like a turning point for the revival, right? Did you know it back then? Or is it more of now I'm looking back with a reflective lens and seeing that was it? But could you tell at the time, like, oh, wow, I'm in something that's happening and this is about to be a big deal
Yeah,
and we're
I mean,
about to have a moment?
there was a big shift. So the first thing that happened in Pitchfork, where it felt like the scene was being appreciated, was
Mm-hmm.
Pitchfork wrote about a great big pile of leaves. That was the
Okay.
first thing that was the first
The
thing that
first
happened.
thing.
Well, it wasn't
Yeah.
an album review. It was just like a
They just
track
wrote about him.
thing,
Yeah.
and that was the first like, oh fuck, they know what we're doing. Like someone over there. And then they reviewed World Is, they reviewed Intuit Over It, and they reviewed Touche. And there was like a stream where like Ian Cohen just suddenly picked up on the stuff and ran with it.
Shout out Ian Cohen, San Diego fucking legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy Pittman, but
That's
fabulously.
all they need. Like, I sort of like one thing I've realized, because I used to same thing. It's like, oh, like these big they're these big kind of guarded things. Like, you just need one fucking nerd on the inside every place. You have an Ian, you have an Andrew, like a Brooklyn vegan. Like over the last year or so, I've been seeing like, articles from like The Needle Drop, like Anthony Fantano, like referencing emo bands. And I'm like, oh my God, Anthony Fantano knows about fucking
He knows
some and it's like, no, it's this one fucking guy, Ricky, that follows us, that works for him. Ricky is the fucking employee on the inside. Shout out fucking Ricky Riffs. Like, he's the guy. You need these you just got to slip one in. We got Trojan horse them.
We got lucky here in Chicago because we had two writers that were really, really poignant at that time, who were really paying attention and really talking about this scene before a lot of other people. And that was my buddy Leor Gallo and our friend David Anthony. And those were like the two folks that Leor was writing for The Reader, David was writing for AV Club, and they were both really championing what was happening, at least here, before really anybody else was. They were going boots on the ground, going to the house shows, talking about the band. And the groundswell really started to get real when, oh man, what would the tipping point have been? There were like a few really key tours that really just kind of set it off, where everybody was like, oh fuck, like we're not playing house shows anymore. Like there's real money being discussed. And it was like, the tipping point for me, actually, I know the tipping point for me, and I can only speak to myself on this one, but like, where I really started to notice the shift was a magazine publication. I forget what it might have been, Alternative Press or Brooklyn Vegan, or like one of those publications, but they'd interviewed Chris Carrabba from Dashboard Confessional about what he thought of all of the emo revival bands, and gave him a playlist. And Chris wrote little blurbs for every band on the playlist, like little, like offhand blurbs about everybody. And the blurbs he wrote were really thoughtful and super poignant and cool.
That sounds like
and
him,
like, yeah. I mean, he's the nicest guy ever, right? But like, he wrote this. I mean, we're all these young, fucking dirty, smelly house show punk kids, and all of a sudden he's writing about like grown-ups and and like World Is and all this stuff. And we're reading, everybody's reading this article and passing around like, oh, this is so cool. And that really seemed like a turning point, where this dude from even 2 generations before we were had noticed the band and had like, and was excited about it. And that was sort of it was sort of like we made it. Like, hey, like, the elder folks think we're legit now, and like agree and know what we're up to and think it's cool and are inspired by it. And like, they're taking info and influence from us. And, so that really seemed like a big turning point. Like, it was no longer just our thing. anymore
Yeah.
that only we knew about. It was like, oh no, other larger acts are taking notice of what this is.
Yeah. And as they should be, because I mean, I'm sure in Chris Caraba's standpoint, back in 2013, 2014, it's a scary time to be a rock band. It's a scary time. You don't know if
Yeah.
anyone's making rock music
And
anymore.
well, and the shit
So
they
to
were
see you guys,
pushing at that time too was like Black Veil Bridey stuff like that.
or
like,
it
like,
was,
and it's
or
just,
it was Stop Clap, which is Rob's favorite
yeah,
genre of
yeah.
music.
It's just, yeah, like it wasn't a great time. Yeah, and it's like, okay, you can tell there's like, this is at its core like the same shit Chris liked. I'm sure, you know. It's like you're
it's the stuff he brought. It's very
it's
like
his
Back to
influences
Sunny
too.
Day.
Yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that, you know, the Pitchfork thing was huge, right? Like that brought to a
Yeah.
national stage and a level of legitimacy that we haven't found. But I also believe that if the Pitchfork thing never happened, I think a lot of the bands would have still had the same success, just in a maybe more niche way. I think that just kind of that gave it a little bit of a stamp of like coolness for a while, but eventually, just like everything else, that stamp wears off. You know, it doesn't. You know, ultimately you have to be making cool stuff, and that's and I think even by the time 2014 started to roll around, it felt like we were on the other side of the pendulum. Like the growth had begun to go this way, and so you know, just like anything else, it gets commodified or simplified.
That was my thought right there. Like you're thinking like, oh, Pitchfork mentioned this, it's cool. Like I'm thinking it's cool for like 2 days, and then I'm spending like 2 weeks having a crisis. Like, all right, well, it's over. It's fucking over. Yeah, everyone else is gonna fuck. Yeah, you know, like I'm not cool. And like fuck, like this is like same with like a dad. Like fucking Chris is really cool, and then all of a sudden, all the 15-year-old girls are burning your stuff on the playlist in the Gap sweaters, and it's like, am I cool anymore? It's like fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I can afford to stay at the Sheraton
cool
now. I got Spider-Man money, but like, is this the opposite of what we did this for? Fuck.
Yeah. Well, eventually it comes back around. You know, I think like after a while, you begin to just stop caring about what's cool and what's not. And then as you get older, you can just exist and be. And that inherently is cool to just be yourself, you know? So like being yourself will never go out of style. So,
thank goodness for that.
So I think, you know, now I think you ask anybody, like a lot of us probably have really strong opinions about perception and how we were being thought of and written about and what, you know, are we artists and all this shit. And it's like, I'm sure everybody, no matter how many people you interview who are from that era, if they look back on it now, they're like, oh, who cares? Like now we're just happy to still be doing it at all.
Right.
At this point. Like, you know, can really enjoy it in our later years of just like looking back with some rose colored glasses, but also just now we can do it just for the sake of having fun with it and enjoying it. Way less pressure, you know?
Yeah.
At what point, like, as you're going on here, because you're kind of in the thick of it, and as like someone that seems to be like a songwriter, you're probably like always, I don't know how much reflection you're doing on that besides what we're talking about now, but like you've become this influential artist. Like you're talking about Chris Carrabba, you're someone's Chris Carrabba now. Like, you know, like there's the same time difference is gone. Like someone else is talking, but like, in 2011, I got my hands on some Intuit Over It, and like fucking here we are in 2026. Like, is that weird to you? Have you played with any of these people before who do think like that? And you're like, fuck, now I'm Monk.
Yeah, I mean,
no.
I mean, the first time I really felt that was when we met Creek Bill. That was really like they are that band. Like Intuit Over It was Zaina's first show. You know, it's like that's like.
Crazy.
And but they're from my hometown. Like they're from Cherry Hill. We're from the same place. You know, like we all went to they went to like the West High School. I went to the East one. And like Eric, who's the guitar player in the Progress, recorded the demo. You know, it's like
that's crazy.
When the second I met them, it was as if I'd had these friends for my whole life.
Yeah.
So much of that is based on location and where we're from and the mutual people that we know. But like we also speak the same music language.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much of that was my fault, but to be able to see that influence and understand the weight of that.
Yeah.
And like to me, the best compliment you can give another musician, and I do this too, and when people do it to me, it's amazing, is to see someone play and then that makes you want to pick up your guitar.
Yeah.
Like watching you play music makes me want to play music. That's the best compliment I think you can give a musician. And if anybody compliments me with that, it's like, you know, and so we have met those bands, and I think it's an insane level of responsibility for us as older folks, because to be able to shepherd the younger class into not making the same mistakes that we made, and to not burn themselves out the way we burned ourselves out, and to just offer wisdom and support. Like, that's really the thing that I would have wanted, if and have gotten from folks that I've met that I looked up to. And so I take that on as a role. I also do a lot of album production, record production for folks. Um, and so that's a big part of that too, is like some of these bands that I work with, like the experience they're having with me is maybe the first time they've ever worked with somebody who like is interested in, taking their songs apart and putting them back together, and being able to do that in a really safe space where you're able to instill trust and confidence into some of these bands, for when they can go to make their next record, they can take the next level up. Like, that to me is like priceless time. And the stuff that really gets me excited is to like work on music with people. So
do you look at yourself as more of like a producer? Because like I don't want to put this upon you, but like, and I don't think I'm just saying this because Pet Symmetry sounds like Marvelous 3 to me. But like you're kind of like emo Butch Walker here. So like, are you more of like a producer now, or like
no,
how do you view
I'm
yourself?
still very much a musician. Intuit Orbit's got a lot of plans for next year. Excuse me. I just recently left my career of the last 10 years, like a month ago. And the idea, one of the driving forces behind that idea, was to be able to get into working on records with people more. And so me and my late friend Simon spent the month of February producing the new sports record. Spent last year producing.
Oh shit, I saw that. Oh,
So we've been
you're
working.
about to get fucking grilled. Is it true? Is Chance is on the record, right? Chance, we got some special appearances on the record. Chance is on the record. I have a letter here directly from Chris where he says, yes, it should be coming, I'm hoping, later this year.
Yeah. You should have, I mean, I don't know how much he's trying to send that around yet, but it's like, But so we had a great time working on that record, and I worked on this record for this band Pretty Bitter last year. So
Pretty Bitter is that was one of my favorite records of the fucking year. Pleaser.
Yeah, thank you.
Pleaser is so good. What I was telling is like that when I was a kid in the 2000s, like you're talking about like Meg, like this and that, like that's a record that I would have read about as like a pop punk rock kid. I would have read about that in Spin magazine and been like, this is what's cool. Like this is what the cool. This is cool music. Like, okay, I like Rancid, but this is the coolest shit. And like I'll tell it to like Mel and Miri. Like I saw they were here with Dear Marianne a few months ago, and like oh, I was so fucking I love those motherfuckers.
You're making my heart grow 10 times.
Oh yeah, no, I must have forgotten or didn't piece it together. Yeah, because I interviewed them like 6 months ago or so, and
6 months ago,
it was a while, right? Like November.
Yeah, it was like November. Yeah,
it was a while ago. Yeah, but oh my god.
Those have been the two most recent projects, and then before that, I hadn't produced anything since like 2016. So like,
oh wow, okay,
I've done a couple of
fucking track record.
The
critically acclaimed sports
usually
record.
some time off to like.
Speaking of,
I did both the Blew It full lengths. I did the Signals with West record At This Age. I did the Annabelle record Having It All, and then I did a Jazz Dream record after the earthquake. And so those were like some random projects alongside anything our bands have done in the last years,
exactly.
I want to do more of that. I don't want to be a computer anymore. I want to be making music. So no, producer is not the primary role, but it is like I'm trying to make it about 30% of the overall picture.
Yes.
Have the gentlemen from sports realized that they're sports yet? Because I feel like when we had them on our show about a year ago or so, and it's right before their tour, and I don't think they'd really played. They hadn't played yet, and realized like that since they went away, a whole generation fell in love with them, and then they go on this tour, and like they're getting this fucking great treatment, and like they just are the most humble motherfuckers. Like I don't think they really are. They don't realize.
I think they are due to be putting out new music. I think first of all, I fucking love those guys. And like,
Yeah.
we do speak a very similar musical language, and they're my favorite type of band to have in the studio, which is one that is just ready to try
Yeah.
stuff. It's just like that is so exciting and so much fun because you can just like really experiment and have a blast, and there's no
Yep.
demo artist or attachment or ego. It just makes it like pure creativity, right? Which is great. I think that comes from them all going to Berkeley together.
Yeah.
It helps.
They're all music dorks in the same way that we are. I'm not Berkeley trained or anything, but I do think about music very similarly. And, I think they did realize on the first tour that it was like that. I think they also realized that initial excitement goes away and can go away fairly quickly. So like,
If you
Yeah.
don't
I think they're
capitalize on
ready.
it, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
they're ready for what's next. And I don't know if the music from 10 years ago or whatever represents them anymore. Like as people,
Yeah.
as musicians, as players, and even me, like having listened back to that record, because I wasn't really familiar with the band when we first started talking. It was kind of these conversations around them thinking we were going to be a good choice for production. And me listening back to the 10-year-old record, but not, and listening in earnest and enjoying it, but also understanding that like that's 10 years ago. Like they're not going to come in with the same record again. And, but then I saw them at Fest. They played right before Pet Sim at Fest, and they were awesome. And it was very much like, okay, like they can play. This is going to be a blast. We met and hung out and had an awesome time. And it was just like, all right, this is going to be a really good time. So sure enough, it was. And I think you can hear the joy that went into making this record, and I'm excited for people to hear it. I probably shouldn't be talking about this.
Whoop,
Oh,
yeah.
I know. No, I'm pulling it out of you. No, the people
They'll
are
be
gonna
messaging us and be like, how'd you get this out of Evan?
Yeah,
I mean,
How dare you?
I think we're posting pretty frequently about making an album, and I do
No,
think
I saw these photos.
Yeah.
I'm putting two and two together.
It
That's
just means
funny.
that we have to have them back on so they can talk about it.
I've been trying to book them for something, and we're working on it. I'm not allowed to talk about that either. But okay, so you have that's a decent start to get back into production. I know we had to reschedule this one because you were booking a client. When are we going to find out who that client was?
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
Oh.
Yeah, when are we going to find out? How long we got to wait?
Is it in our world? Like, can we get a hint? No, okay.
It's I mean, feel free to take your guesses. We have a few records on the books this year, and they're all going to be things I think you'll be very interested in.
Are they Chicago bands? Chicago-based bands?
The one that I moved this thing was for, yes.
Okay.
The rescheduling band is a Chicago band, yes. But yeah, we got a bunch of great stuff on the books. I imagine a lot of this isn't even going to come out until 2027 or 28, maybe.
Oh, a lot of stuff you're working on right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, right. That's up. Like, how long are we gonna have to wait for this? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm waist deep in Intuit Over record, so that's been the big
yeah. Let's talk about the Intuit Over record, because I know like you came out with a single in 2025 and had said you were going to be working on music in 2026, but you were taking your time, kind of really digesting it. So where are we at with the record?
Writer's block is a real thing.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So like so here's what happened. You'll get the inside scoop. This is the first time I've talked about this on an interview with anybody. So for years I've been working to get the record proper back from No Sleep.
Yeah.
And we'd spent our former manager Jacqueline and the band, and shout out Jacqueline, who managed Intuit Over for many years. They just left the game so they could focus on being a mom. It's awesome.
Shout out Jacqueline.
Shout out Jacqueline. But they were unbelievably helpful with me getting back a lot of my catalog, which I encourage any artist to try to own your music 100%.
Yes.
It is very, very helpful. So we've been chasing down Chris to get proper back, and Chris and I had worked a long time to reestablish and repair a relationship after some, us just being young and dumb and primitive in our 20s. And finally, I had a contractual obligation to do one more EP from No Sleep when I left to go to Triple Crown. And I wrote a song called Contractual Obligation about it, and that got me out of having to do it for many, many years. And so,
It's a good angle.
Yeah.
so finally, Chris mentioned after all this time, he was like, "Hey, if you deliver the EP for this contractual obligation, I'll give you the rights back to proper." So, so I thought that was a really cool idea. I was like, "Hell yeah, we'll do that." So I dug back into the archives and I found 5 songs that I wrote in 2010 that never got finished.
Okay.
Was like, went to Adam, who's the drummer of the band. I was like, let's finish these songs. And they sound like proper. It was like, let's do these songs. Let's re-record this. And so we got together and we started rehashing these songs and doing them kind of how we would do them now. And like, practicing them, tweaking them, doing pre-pro on them. And then we started tracking drums for it. And so it was like, okay, cool. Hit up Chris. Was like, we're getting started. We're going to record. Like, here we go. Found this awesome stuff that kind of sounds like what Intuit Overt on No Sleep used to sound like. Like, this would be really fun. And so he was all about it. And then I hit him up again like a few weeks later and was like, hey, is there budget for art? Is there budget for mastering? Is there budget for any of these like extraneous other parts of the record? Which I wouldn't care if there was budget or not. But if there is budget, that means that I'm going to hire different people. It means I'm going to bring in additional resources for this project if there's actual like money to share around with everybody. So not hearing anything, month goes by, not hearing anything, 2 months goes by, not hearing anything. And we're kind of waiting for him to say anything. And finally he hits me up and he goes, hey man, you know what? I'm actually going to close up No Sleep. You can just have the rights to proper back. Don't worry about the EP.
What?
And gives it back.
Patience is a virtue, I guess. Here we go.
And so I call Adam, and we've been having so much fun working on this older material. I call Adam. I was like, dude, you want to write 6 more songs and do an album that's kind of like this? And he was like, absolutely. So we rented a car. We drove down to a cabin in downstate Illinois at this property that we go to pretty frequently. And we wrote like 5 more songs in a weekend and brought them back, tracked the drums for those. And that was 2.5 years ago.
Where is this place? Because I've read about this. You guys did a couple records of this place. Like, there's no power.
In this
nothing there. Like,
cabin?
what is this lovers retreat?
So
What
there's
is
a few
this?
different places. There's a cabin called Rebel Yell in Vermont, which is where where we wrote standards. Josh and I wrote
Standards.
Cabin in
Yeah,
Vermont. That's for
with
lovers.
John, yeah.
It's in like the state slogan. Even that's a honeymoon suite.
It was awesome. It was the whole month of January of 2015, and
Get the
that
fucking
was a
It's a
beautiful,
cold month of
jacuzzi in
Vermont,
there.
too.
Yeah, it's
Good
nice.
really
Lord.
beautiful experience. It was amazing. I mean, we were under like 8 feet of snow at any time. We were just like, it was awesome. Then in 2021, Pet Sim went to a cabin in Maconda, Illinois, to write Big. And we tracked the drums for Big there, and then came home and finished that record over the next year. And then there's a different
Like the Symmetry record.
What's
Yeah.
that?
The Symmetry record.
The Pet
Yeah, we
Sematary
got to
record.
talk about that in a second. Because wow, okay.
But then there's a farm that my wife and I go to, and like a lot of our friends, extended friend group, go to. That's in central Illinois. And that's where Adam and I went to work on this music because
Okay.
we knew that there was space available. It was going to be affordable because I go there so frequently, and we like work there sometimes. And when I say work there, I mean like planting trees, working on the greenhouse, like actually like doing farm work.
Oh, wow.
So so we go down there, we write that, we come back, we track it. And 2.5 years ago, we like record all this music, and it's stat because I just haven't had anything to sing about.
Like, because life got too comfortable, or what?
No, well, last year, 2024, I was planning a wedding, and and then 2025, last year, I was really head down, focused on work, and and I think a lot of things, just routine and just how things, it's like
Yeah.
there's just stuff. It didn't feel like there had been that like pivotal thing to really bring out the lyric writing at that time. And we just
Yeah.
finished that Sim record. So like everything I really wanted to say in that amount of time was like kind of went to that. And so came off of that and wasn't really inspired. We were able to get like a couple songs done, but not much. One of them was the one we put out last fall. And but then a bunch of stuff happened to me at the beginning of this year, and a lot of life change in a really short period of time, and all mostly good, but like some of it pretty tragic, and like those things were enough to like really kind of like set the tone for what we kind of didn't know what the record was going to be about, and now it's like, okay, no, I have a clear vision of what I what I want this
Beautiful.
record to be about.
Yeah.
I know what I want to sing about. I know I have a lot to get off my chest. So like so now there's a really like driven feeling of inspiration to get it done. And I'm glad I didn't just rush it and sing some stuff that
Throw
I
some
didn't
shit
really
together.
care about.
Yeah.
Now I have actually like really important things that I feel like I want to say. So so now the plan is to finish that over the next 6 months or so. And
Okay.
and yeah, we'll see. Check back in with me next year.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll
Yeah,
talk.
we will.
Yeah, during
We
the next
will be,
promo
Evan, don't
cycle,
worry.
we will be bugging you about it. Don't worry. But I will
Yes.
also be asking you again about what the record was that we're producing from a Chicago
Yeah.
artist.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
then we'll know about it, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. How do you divide like there's this like old Deion Sanders quote where he's like, "Football is my wife and baseball is my girlfriend." Like, how do you divide? Like, you're with with Pet Sim and Into It Over. Like,
Yeah.
when you have two bands like that, like how do you divide what's what?
It's a
Yeah.
good question.
Decide what you're going to do for what.
So the trick is really that
Mhm.
I don't write the initial ideas for Pet Symmetry or they're there.
Okay.
Okay.
Eric is who writes. Well, Eric writes them in Pet Symmetry and Matt writes them in there. And so
Okay.
they come with the concept of the idea, like they've got like, here's a couple things for a verse and here's a couple things for a chorus and here's maybe like another part, and Marcus and I, if we're working on Pet Symmetry, Marcus and I will take those ideas and we are the two people that kind of organize it and put it all together.
Okay.
And then it just kind of goes from there. And then lyrically, I definitely save a little bit more of as Into It Over and Pet Sim as being the two most active bands, as those two bands have gotten, had careers at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of save a little bit more of the irreverency and fun for Pet Sim, and then a little more of the sincerity and like realness for Into It Over It. Like,
Okay.
there's certain subjects that I feel like I can't, like, I couldn't do in both bands. I mean, there may be some I could do in both bands, but like mostly the Pet Sim stuff will be way more lighthearted overall.
Okay.
Or like maybe a little funnier, or I feel like I have a little more freedom to make a joke in a lyric, whereas like with Into It Over It, I want to be a little more careful with that. And so that just remains as like Pet Sim being the vehicle to be a little silly, and Into It Over It remains the vehicle to be a little more like heartfelt and
I'd like to
introspective a little bit.
apologize. I'd like to apologize for sleeping on Big Symmetry, because if I would have heard that last year, that would have been on my album of the year list.
It would have been.
I really like that. I feel like I'm like, this motherfucker's doing Third Eye Blind. You're doing Out of the Vein on here. I was like, this is just really good fucking pop rock. Like,
yeah,
I love this record.
We just wanted to make a big rock record, and the other part of that was that all the songs are love songs, which I'd never done, and is actually really hard to do. Like to maintain 12 tunes worth of love, and even a couple of them are a little, sassy, but like the love is overall the message of that record. And I'd never done anything like that before, so that was a really nice theme to play into. We got to that theme because we wrote all the music for that record in that cabin in Maconda after all like on
Are you
the
saying
fourth
Wakanda, like the place from
Maconda.
the
Makanda. Maconda.
Maconda, not Wakanda.
Yeah, I was like, I thought you said that. I was like, I didn't know that was a real place. Like, I never seen the movie. I didn't see the movie either. I was like, fuck, maybe it's based on.
Yeah,
a place.
he's been lying. He's really going to Africa, like to this mythological Marvel location.
I thought it was on an island.
Like Carbondale. It's like the southernmost tip of Illinois. It's like you really have to go like all the way down to the bottom of the state. But it's remote. It's in like it's where Illinois has mountains. So
yeah, I was like, did Illinois have mountains? Because I've traveled, and when I travel to Illinois or through Illinois, it's windmills and flatness.
Yes.
So
right. So this is the one random area of the state that actually feels like you're like on the tip of the Ozarks.
Wild.
But so we got there, started writing that record on the third or fourth day. We all did acid together, and it was the first. It was the first time that me and Eric had ever done it, and it was amazing. And like, so the whole experience was like fueled by this like love, mind expanding, just like feeling of connection to these three dudes that are my best friends, and that album together. So we wanted to maintain that feeling lyrically for the theme.
That's really respectful, or
Yeah.
in I'm sure it wasn't on purpose, but to wait to being like, what were you would have been like 38, 39?
Yeah, I was 20, it was 2021, so that would have
So
been,
so you would have been
yeah, it
like
would have been like
37.
37 maybe. Yeah.
37, yeah.
You shouldn't try acid until you're over 35.
I agree. I completely
Like
agree.
that's a good age for like that could be helpful after 35.
It's
You
the
do that in your
perfect
20s,
time.
you're just gonna fucking do something
Your brain
stupid.
just, yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah,
I
yeah. It's
completely
just that's
agree.
not like kids. You can do drugs eventually. Some
You're
of
saying
them.
I should try it now? I've never tried
I
it.
think
I'm
yeah.
40.
Amanda, if you were to
Maybe.
try, I think acid's a fair thing to try. Yeah.
Thanks.
Set,
Yeah.
you know, Amanda, just remember, set and setting is the entire thing. Just if you're with people you really like, and it's the daytime, and you know where the bathroom is, and you know where the food is, and the sun is shining, and like
Okay.
where you can go outside, and you're not just, and put all the screens away. Just you'll have a great.
You can buy a chocolate
Okay.
bar with some mushrooms in it now, Amanda. You're good.
Yeah,
You're good.
right?
Yeah. Have a nice time. Have a nice time there.
But yeah, doing drugs is really, really special. And like Pet Sim, you know, Pet Sim is not my primary project. It's also not Eric or Marcus's primary project either.
Okay.
But I think it's the best band that all of us have ever been in. You know, and like in terms of like starting, like there's other bands we've been in that have been great. And like, and I don't mean to discount Marcus's feelings on Rap Boys, which I'm sure he has like unbelievably great feelings about because they're gonna be the biggest band in the world. But like in terms of like being in a band from start to finish,
Yeah.
like you've been in it the whole time. This was always the same members. Like the vision was clear from the get go, like what it was going to be. Like that's what Pet Sim is. And so, you know, it's always been the three of us. It's always had the same vibe, and it's just remained really healthy, I think, during the whole course of its lifespan.
Are you guys doing Fest this year?
We're not.
I was just saying, the flyer's very big. I did not see you on there, but I could have easily missed it.
We didn't do it last year because I was on my honeymoon. Or Pet Sim did it last year. Sorry, Pet Sim played last year. We didn't do it the year before because I was getting married. And then this year we got to. There was just some scheduling conflicts with it.
Yeah.
We should be playing proper in full there because it's the 15-year anniversary. But
yeah,
we just weren't able to pull it off.
All right.
You can blame me. It's my fault.
I'll make sure that people direct their ire towards you if anyone brings it up. Yeah,
exactly.
It's not his fault.
Don't conflict.
Drop the fucking ball. So you're doing all these projects, and it's like you clearly have like a different type of love for everyone. But at the end of the day, everyone has a favorite kid. What's your favorite band and project you've been in?
Oh,
been in ever?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be between these ones. Yeah, it could be it could be The Progress.
It could be The Progress. Yeah, it's like it could be your first band.
The Progress is really special. I have unbelievable rose-colored glasses for that band. I think that if it had stayed alive for another 2 years, we would have had a way different career. And we probably could have I don't want to use the word capitalized, but we probably would have thrived during the Emo Revival had we stayed a band and written another record. I think we would have done really, really well. And I always considered Proper to be the Progress record that never happened. That was always kind of like how I envisioned that. Like had the Progress stayed a band, Proper probably would have been the record that got made.
It's very like rare that you can have this, like you said, you start in high school with your buddies and it's this thing like, oh, we're going to be in this rock band. It's like very rarely does it leave the garage. Very rarely does it leave playing a local show. And it's like not only to like continue on and then be written about in a book and be able to repress records and stuff like that. Like that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it does not happen all the time.
I completely agree. That is the gratitude that I have for that. It does not fall short on me. I would say that is not my favorite child though. I would say that it's got to be Intuit Over. It's the band that's taken me all over the world. It's the band that I've played shows in. It's the band that I've released the records I'm probably the most proud of. But in terms of being a functioning band, Pet Sim is the best band.
As far as functioning.
You know, I think that when if Pet Sim had been able to be as busy as Intuit Over it, like that, you might have gotten a different answer out of it. But but there's also a new band we just started that I'm really excited about. Which
okay.
Yeah, what do we got?
What's
Next year we
this?
can talk about.
Oh, we can't talk about it yet?
Not
Evan,
talking
you
about-
keep giving us things we can't
I
talk
know.
about.
I know.
Yeah, that's all right. We
Or
got shit for a
it's like
sequel. You're
everything.
good.
I don't get invited back to the show, you know?
You will be,
right,
yeah. Now you
gotta
have
give
to
some-
be.
You got to come
Yeah.
back. I
We've
appreciate
got
that.
we got new bands and we have production that we have to
There's
talk
always
about. It's,
something.
yeah.
Wow.
There's always something. Yeah, I can't not be busy. And like with the label too that we do, it's like there's just so much going
Yeah.
on. Everything. So.
Speaking of labels, Pet Symmetry signed to Asian Man, I think.
Well, so Mike's helped us out. Mike,
I was
we
gonna say,
have-
okay.
Mike seems like the
with the last Future Shoots in Big, we put out ourselves.
Okay,
But
yeah.
we worked with Mike to get his own variant, and Mike helped us out with in-store distribution, and our relationship with him has been so strong to this point. We just love partnering with him because it's really easy, you know. Like he's able to help extend our reach, and for us pressing most of our things ourselves these days, it's really easy to justify that as like an added, you know, like, hey, Mike, sell these 500 records, just keep all the money. We don't care. Like, help us get it
Yeah.
in the stores, you know, help promote it to your audience. Like, it really just helps the overall lift of the record, you know. And so yeah, we have no.
Where did you first meet Mike Park?
I first met him in San Francisco, California, when
Was it a place where you would find Mike Park, probably? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense.
it was at the Great American Music Hall, I think, or
All checks out.
And I think it was that room. Someone's gonna check me on this in the YouTube comments, but it was me, Andrew Jackson Jihad, and Frank Turner, and
Okay.
I was doing my own merch, and Mike was there selling merch for Andrew Jackson Jihad, and he had just put out Knife Man. That was the record that he had just done for them. So I met him at that show, and we struck up a conversation, and we just had a nice time behind the merch table, getting to know each other. And I told him about this new band I was starting and how I'd love to see if he'd want to put a 7-inch out or something like that. And I'm pretty sure he said yes to putting the 7-inch out and then never listened to it. I don't know. I think it was just kind of like, I like this kid. Like, yeah, okay. Like, I'll put a 7-inch out, whatever. And now it's got like more streaming than any other song any of us are in, you know, like those two songs. And so it's like the popularity of that 7-inch, I think, surprised everybody with how much people gravitated to those tunes.
Man.
And like to this day, we're still astounded that
Mike thought he was doing some fucking guy a favor.
Like, he thought we were
Yeah, just
whatever.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike used to check me on that. But ever since then, he's just been super cool. He's not just done Pet Sim stuff, but he's put out records for Dowsing, which is Eric's other band. And,
Yeah.
you know, and he's just always, we took him when we signed to Polyvinyl. We flew him out to Chicago, or no, he was officiating a wedding in Chicago. So he was already coming out here. And we used his royalty check that he cut us to take him out to Alinea.
Wow.
which is like the 3 Michelin star, like,
Oh,
most-
okay.
in Chicago. So we took his royalty check and just took him out to like the nicest dinner he'd ever been to in his life.
That's amazing.
There's
I
a
love
really
that.
there's a good photo of us all in suits at the dinner, which is pretty funny.
That's awesome.
That feels like a very rare occurrence for emo bands to be all in suits.
Right,
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
also eating like a 3 Michelin star dinner.
I was
You
gonna say,
know,
yeah,
Also
you sold
true,
a
yeah.
fucking grip of 7 inches, bro.
We're like, what's the stupidest thing we could do with this money? Like the most
Yeah.
irresponsible thing, and be like, oh, take Mike out somewhere he'll never go ever on his own. Like,
Yeah.
as a thank you. You know, it's, yeah, it was a blast.
Oh, that's awesome. You talk about, doing some production. Before we let you go, I need to know, who are the newer bands that you are very into right now?
Yeah.
Oh man. So I love Pool Kids and Sweet Pill. We've taken them on
Yeah.
tour and play shows with us, and I just love them so much. I really love Sports, obviously. I really love Pretty
Yeah.
Bitter, obviously. Some other ones that I really like. I really loved the First Day Back record.
Oh, they're great. I was so blown away when I found out they were from fucking California.
I know.
I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
I really dug that record. As far as like an example of a band that feels like it was a band when I was started dance.
Yeah,
like,
see, right? I'm like,
feels
this is a
great about
fucking,
that time.
this is a like true Midwest emo
But
band in the
from
truest
California.
sense. I'm like, yeah, but they're from like fucking Santa Barbara or something.
Dude, and so there's also this band from New York that I'm just got turned on to called Holidays in the United States, and they're really awesome. This record by this band called Film, which was Joe from Algernon and Kenny from the Starting Line with with our friend TJ who passed away a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And that
that's who you mentioned,
cool.
right?
Yeah. So that record's really great. The Film record's fun. What are some other? Let's go through my new arrival.
I was trying to bug them to come. Their PR person emailed us. I was bugging them. I was like, this would be the best way to get these guys on the show. Like, let's talk about this Film record. Like, this is cool as shit.
It's so good, dude. So yeah, the band Hikes have always been really special to me. We did it with them, and that came out awesome. I'm so glad that Pennines is a band again. They're from the UK. But their new band Poncho is also super cool. And what else? You know, I gotta say, a lot of the music that I listen to in my free time is not of this world. And that's
like in an alien way, or you mean like a emo adjacent?
Not in
music?
the emo adjacent way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I think that's actually one of the other reasons I'm really psyched on a lot of the younger bands getting into the style of emo that I really like, which was the 90s style. You know, the fact that they're finding like Unwound and Hum and, you know, like those are the bands they're finding, and that's translating into some of this even younger crop than what Fifth Wave would be. I don't even know what you would call it at this point, but like,
I feel like we're touching somewhere on 6. I don't want to be the guy that says it.
I don't want
to be that fucking guy.
We're not going to be that.
But I think, you know, that's a lot of the newer bands I've been discovering lately, even just in the last like couple weeks, you know, like I've been more influenced by that sound. And so I also am very careful to dole out like, oh, I'm loving this band if I'm not fully like brought up to speed. As you can tell, I actually purchase music.
You're doing decent on there.
You're doing that physical media,
yeah. And so like I wait, and you know, I get the record, I bring it home, and I enjoy it. And that's I try my best to hold off on consuming. Oh, how can I be so dumb though too to not mention Kerosene Heights? Like, so yeah, we Storm Chasers, the label that I run, we reissued Southeast of Somewhere, and then they just put out that new record on side one, like a year ago, maybe. That record smoked. I love that band. That like feels like a band from like our era.
That feels like a fucking. You talk about sub. That feels like a fucking sub pop band almost, like early 90s sub. Like that. Awesome. That's a. Sometimes this show just becomes the Kerosene Heights glazing hour, and it's like that's the coolest band on the planet. I like that. It seems we've never had one guest on the show be like, I don't really care much for them. You know, no one's great band, just not for me. No one has once said that.
Nope.
They're awesome people. They write really cool, captivating music, and they're from live. They're just so good. Yeah. So it's like they have the power trio of what you need to be successful. It's like, and you know, to be a good band. You know, so I'm real excited to see what they do next. And
that's not the record you're working on, huh? Because I know they just kind of maybe started on something. That's not one of them.
I mean, not in a month, but maybe next year. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Start plugging Chance. No, just kidding.
This is I'm just so worried. Like this is gonna are you a sports guy at all, Evan?
Like actual sports?
Like actual sports.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like gonna sometimes I feel like I'm slipping into like Waj or Adam Schefter territory where it's just like I'm like, what's going on over here? What are you working on? Like I got to get the news, but it's like even if I get the news, I can't fucking tell the news. I'm not gonna sell anyone out, so it's like you don't need the news. All right, I'll hear when I hear, I guess.
It's for these bands to say, not for me. I'm
exactly and I'm like I don't want to spoil it for them either.
We'll talk to you after the records come out and get your opinion. Yeah.
Please. You bring me on as a guest host.
Yeah, there we go.
Quiz some folks.
I love that. I love it so much. Well, very good.
Exciting times for Exciting times for I mean, I'm psyched that the revival's going to get a little bit of shine after a few years. I feel
Yeah.
like you said, Rob, like bands now, younger bands now, I think are you can see influence from the bands that a lot of us were
Yes.
in. It's exciting. If anything else, it's just flattering and awesome, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes us want to keep writing music and push ourselves to be better. So, what more do you want, you know?
No, it's
That's
beautiful.
all I
I
can ask
I
for.
remember when sports was here, like one of the first things Sean said to me was like, "Oh yeah, the kids in Thoughts on Bowling, yeah, the drummer. They're like just like he was. I mean, these are grown ass adult men, and they're just like so impressed with like, oh, these 20-year-olds up like, and it's like
Yeah.
he's like it's pushing. Like I'm picking his brain and stuff like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so many other people just be like, oh, I need to listen to this fucking kid, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's
That
like,
doesn't
shit,
get
like
you.
they
That
got
doesn't do
something
anything.
going.
Yeah, that doesn't anybody, you know, like,
It does not.
yeah, we all speak the same language. So why would
Exactly.
we shut people down for being excited about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's beautiful. Well, fuck. Thanks for joining us, Evan.
Yeah,
Of
we
course.
really appreciate it.
Wow.
This has been a
Yeah.
blast. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. When is